Starting my day. And I remembered when I was on Facebook, I had saw somebody that posted making whipped cream for the carnivore diet. And of course, everybody was really excited about doing that. But I'm going to tell you my story of eating that way and how it is a disaster waiting to happen for you. Back in about 2001, 2002, I had gained a bit of weight because I was in a car accident. So I gained about 20 pounds and I wanted to take it off. And I went on the Suzanne Summer diet. It's very similar to the Atkins diet. So if you don't understand what it is you're trying to keep yourself in the ketos so that you have high fat, high protein, and little carbohydrates. And what they were doing was, in her diet, was she was selling a diet food that were basically animal-based food. And I lost that 20 pounds right away. I got a girlfriend to go on it and she lost a whole bunch of weight, but both of us could not stay on it because what they were trying to do was mimic other food that we ate before. So they were trying to make pizzas and tacos and whipped cream and desserts and all of these things. And they were using things like stevia to sweeten it. So I'd like to stop you right now for you to check to see whether you are subscribed, because not all of the subscriptions, a lot of people are getting deleted by YouTube accidentally. So check. If you haven't subscribed, please press the subscribe and press the notification, because you may never ever find me again unless you do that. Also, it'd be wonderful if you gave me a like. And even if you don't like this content, you can press the thumbs down, because at least it lets me know whether this content is worth listening to, worth seeing. So if you could please do that right now before you go any further. But I'm going to tell you, that is a slippery slope to failure as far as I'm concerned from now to then. Because when I was eating like that, and I was trying to make kind of a pizza and adding the tomato sauce and all that, it made it so that I could, I logically could think and eat the food that was real, that was similar. And so I started adding back in the bad food, the ones that were actually making me sick. And I stayed on that diet probably for a couple of years and really felt good, but it was so incredibly complicated to have it, try to make all of these different dishes and try to fool myself into thinking that I'm eating like everybody else. And what it really did is it fooled myself into eating like everybody does. And so for the next number of years, my health deteriorated and I started eating whipped cream and I started eating pizza and I started eating I actually reverted back again at that point to vegetarianism. So I started eating just carbohydrates and just vegetables, and I took out the meat altogether and the fat altogether and got really sick, and that was the whole basis of this channel. So this is what I want to say. That is a slippery slope. If you have a real problem with eating out and with having serious cravings and that, I'm going to tell you, for the beginning, while you are really initially doing this, be strict with yourself. Be strict with yourself. Don't have those foods. Don't try to mimic those foods. They will only make you want to have more. It will just, your memory of your cravings is too strong. So my recommendation is to really cut that out in the beginning. Try to go cold turkey. Some people will do maybe a day of reprieve and they'll have foods like that like once a week. Like some people are even still having alcohol like once a week, some type of a dry alcohol like vodka or tequila or something like that. And it seems to be okay. But when you start adding a lot of that stuff, it's easy to bring it in and then it can ruin your diet. Because what was happening with the Suzanne Somers diet is that if you eat, this is how they were forming that, if you eat carbohydrates and you eat fats at the same time, you put on weight, because the carbohydrates bring up your insulin, which makes you gain weight. And so they were having carbohydrates over here, fats over here. So I find it's much easier to just be carnivore and eat my fats and my protein at the same time and leave all the carbohydrates out. I am now almost 6 months into this. And I don't think I'm going to ever change. For one thing, every time I try to eat something else, it becomes violent. It becomes like I'm not feeling good for days on end, and it's just not worth it. But because of the energy and the vitality that I get, and just the brain power to be able to not have the severe depression, the anxiety, all of the other things that was coming on with that. And even when I was on the Suzanne Somers diet and the Atkins diet, when I was trying to, play around with this, trying to eat still like that, my depression was still there. So adding a lot of this extra foods could still cause a lot of your symptoms. So it's really elimination diet. Eliminate out of your diet that what makes you sick. And the only way for you to know that is to eliminate everything first. Stick with just the basics. And then later on, try to add back and see whether you can, whether you can tolerate that. Some people can tolerate other foods quite fine. Myself, I'm starting to realize that this is a lifestyle now. I'm not going to actually have other foods into my diet because I'm 63 years old and I am not willing to lose the vitality that I finally got after many years of suffering from arthritis and depression and just being lethargic. Now here it is. What time is it this morning? Right now it's 7:30 in the morning. I have been up since 5 o'clock. I've done a lot of work on my computer. I'm doing my laundry right now. I've done my dishes. I've done a ton. By the time my granddaughter wakes up, which is going to be about 8 or 9 o'clock, I'm pretty much done for the day because I'm going to be going out in the garden and checking out the garden, dealing with my chickens, and then I'm going for a bike ride. Probably when I get back from my bike ride, she will be getting up. And that's the difference. My granddaughter eats a lot more meat, which is really wonderful. And I've noticed that it's really helped her with her ADHD, but she's not carnivore. She'll still eat other things. But I found even adding more meat and fat with my husband and my granddaughter, by them doing that, I've seen their health improve, even without taking the other things, because they still want to have all of the other stuff. But I find that the more that they eat more meat, so if I add more meat to the meal, they'll eat that first. And so they are eating a whole lot less carbohydrates, which I've noticed. And their brains are waking up. They are feeling better. They do have more energy. They don't have the same energy as I do. They can't get up at the time that I am and work and still feel like you want to do something else. And I think that's because I am running on fat, which is your energy. I'm running on protein, which is what builds your body and builds you back up. So again, I weighed myself today, so people who want to know, I'm 107.6. And it fits me really well. It fits my frame because I'm a small frame person. I'm about a size 0. My ring size is a 4. So that just gives you an idea, and a 6.5 shoe size. So I'm not a big person. This fits me really well. I'm 5'3". So yeah, I'm maintaining this weight. I've been maintaining this weight for a good month. And I find that I'm just now, my legs are starting to get big because my bum's lifting up and everything's starting to come back and be what it was supposed to be before I started eating like this and not being able to do anything because my arthritis made me sit down and not be active. So that is what's going on right now. And also too, people have asked me, what do I eat? I do have a video that you can go, and it's like a day in my life. And so you can go and take a look at that, and it shows you what I actually eat during the day, because I start off usually with 2 or 3 eggs and some other thing like a hamburger or a pork chop or whatever it is. And then I eat another meal of protein and fat somewhere in the middle of the day, maybe not as big. And then I end my day with either a steak, again, maybe eggs along with that, shrimp, whatever it is, but I have filled my plate. It's a pretty good plate. 2 or 3 pork chops and a couple of eggs, definitely. Well, all of my videos actually talk about what I eat, but this one in specific goes through what I actually eat during a day. So if you want to know how much I consume, this one is for you. But I think all of my videos, I do that. This one as well talks about how much I eat during the day. I'm taking in a lot of calories during the day, but it gives me energy. It helps me sleep better. I sleep sound when I lie down on that pillow. It's a beautiful thing. I just wake up and it's morning and I have energy. Like I said, 5 o'clock. This is my new reality. My old reality was to get up about 8, 9 o'clock, drag myself, do a few things, sit down panting, just trying to find ways of, usually I had ice packs and heating packs to try to get rid of the pain. That was my basic routine that I had, and I would try to grab little tiny bits that I could do a chore here and a chore there, and I had to get my husband to carry up my laundry so I could fold it and put it away, and even that was a long job. So this is where I've come from. I come from severe arthritis to having incredible vitality eating the carnivore lifestyle. But I found, which was really interesting, a friend of mine who I'm really trying to get him to try this because his wife has some serious illnesses, and I'm hoping that by example, she will get help and she will do this. But he was saying that at work, because this is the oil fields. Everybody works in some form of the oil fields where I live in Alberta. And he was saying like all the young men were on the carnivore diet. They were all trying it. But I'm going to give you a bit of advice. Don't add these other things to it, especially not in the beginning, because you are sabotaging. It's already difficult to start this diet. It's really difficult to switch over from one. And if you try to alter your food to taste like it was before, you will just start eating that way, or at least that's my experience. So I'm going to let you go. I'm going to talk to you again another time. It's time for me to get back and finish my chores. Live and love and light. Talk to you later.